it's not many people that I've been around that goes this in depth when it comes to recovery at all levels. So you taught me more about my body than some people in the NBA. So, and like I said, like you're pretty on point when it comes to checking those metrics every day.
Anyone else, like any high level player that's thinking about possibly joining the coaching and if they think that this is the right fit, what would you tell them?
It's a no-brainer.
All right, X, maybe first thing, if you could kind of introduce yourself quickly, who are you? Where are you currently playing? Where have you played in the past?
Xavier Moon from Goodwater, Alabama. Played in a couple different places. I just got done playing in Canada. I played in Russia this past season. I played in France my first year out of college. Played in Israel. Played in the NBA. And I currently signed to play in Italy this upcoming season.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your situation, like before we started working. We started working together about 4 months ago. What was kind of going on in terms of like your playing? How were you feeling right before we started working together?
I mean, obviously, I had seen he popped up on my Instagram quite a few times, and I really needed like somebody that would help me with like my recovery, especially like after my injury and all that nutrition, like we had been talking about. I mean, so I really just hit you up to see how you can help me and how we can help each other. Shit, since then, like we just been rolling. So you taught me more about my body than some people in the NBA. So
Nice.
it's been fun. It's been being able to see like myself progress within the short amount of time that we've been working together.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to this next year
for
for
sure,
sure.
man. Cool. So like before, like when you were in Russia, how were you kind of handling your performance if it wasn't like through everything that we're doing? Like how were you handling it on your own?
I mean, obviously, I got my own regimen and stuff that I do. Like I said, when I was in the league, I pretty much came up with my own routine, and they had some stuff for me to do. So anytime that I had free time or I felt good, then I would be doing some of that type of stuff. Then obviously the stuff that we would do, obviously the off days, and then pre practice, post practice, pre game, post game, all the mobility stuff was just stuff that I needed, and I didn't even know I needed.
Right. So in terms of like us working together, how has it been like in terms of the day-to-day work that we do? How do you feel about that?
Amazing. Obviously, we talk shit as much as we can. Like I feel like it's sometimes it's daily, sometimes it's 1 or 2 days in between, just depending on what the schedule is. But you're always making sure that you're checking like metrics and everything, and checking in and seeing how I'm feeling, whether I had a game or whether my sleep is in the red or whatever the case is. So you've been like very consistent with that, and also keeping me on top of my shit too, because we both know sometimes I can lose track of sleep. So you've been very helpful with the consistency, whether it's from working out or whether it's from sleeping or eating right or whatever the case may be.
Cool. And was there a specific point in time like that you really felt the difference, that you felt like whatever we're doing right now is actually different from before and I'm feeling it now?
I mean, shit, like we just talked about earlier. This past summer, just making sure that my sleep is consistent. Obviously, it was all over the place when I was in Russia, but making sure that it was consistent while I was playing in Canada, and I feel like my body felt the best. And like I said, like you're pretty on point when it comes to checking those metrics every day. And then if you see something that stands out, then we'll chop it up about it. Or if I went out the night before or whatever the case was. So I feel like I really saw improvement this past season or summer or whatever you want to call it, as far as like my body overall when I'm sleeping. So that's definitely something that I'll take into this next season.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, obviously you have some high level experience, like you played in the highest leagues in Europe, you played in the league as well in the NBA for the Clippers. How would you kind of compare this level of customization, this level of coaching compared to like where you used to in those high level leagues and high level teams?
Man, like I said, bro, it's not many people that I've been around that goes this in depth when it comes to recovery at all levels, whether it's sleep, eating right, any of that type of stuff. And I didn't even know about HRV, and obviously like my heart rate and all that type of stuff is normal, but it's just stuff that you break down and then you go into detail about that a lot of people. Well, I can say majority of people probably don't even understand. You're not somebody that I haven't. I mean, I've learned a lot from you just in the last 4 months about my own body that I didn't even know. So yeah, like working with you, bro, it's been fun, like I always tell you, and I appreciate you for holding me accountable.
100%, 100%. So anyone else, like any high level player that's thinking about possibly joining the coaching and if they think that this is the right fit, what would you tell them if they're like
They,
on the fence?
they need to do it. It's that simple. Like It's a no-brainer. Obviously, people have their questions and they want to know, they want to try to get every answer they can before they try it. It's like, bro, you're not gonna get the answers until you start. So, I mean, you gotta. I ain't even gonna say take a leap of faith because you know what you're talking about. They just gotta trust it. Like you gotta trust what you're doing, what you're saying, and then they gotta trust themselves to even to be able to put the work in to sustain whatever it is they say they want to do.
Exactly, because I mean, obviously, like I can tell you as much as I want or as I need, but you're still the one putting in the work at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So it's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. One hand shakes the other. Like it can't be where somebody working with you and you tell them to do this and they're not doing it, and then they're not seeing results when they thinking it's you and it's really them.
Yeah,
So if somebody's saying that they want to work with you, it's got to be you working with them, but them also working with you, and
for,
that's that open line of communication that we got. So I appreciate you for that always.
for sure. Last question. What's the biggest thing that you learned about yourself in this process?
Man, I need to be sleeping more than I more than I'm awake. Um, that's It's so crazy because I know sleep is like the biggest thing that we all need. But until I started to see the numbers, I felt like I wasn't really. I felt like I could survive on 3 or 4 hours of sleep and then go play a basketball game. But after seeing it and like I can see the numbers, I can see how my body responds. I see how it reacts after games. I see how it reacts after a heavy load, short load. Like I seen it all, but the main thing for me, man, is just sleeping, just getting a proper amount of sleep, and just making sure it's as consistent as it can possibly be.
100%. I think you hit the nail right there. And obviously there's a difference between surviving and then actually performing at an elite level, which is exactly what you want to do for as long as possible. I appreciate you for the work that you're putting in, and thank you for the kind words.
Yes, sir.